What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Adventures with Afterthought. This time we're headed to the Big Apple, New York City for the Wiz Khalifa mixtape release party. It was a wild time. It was super cool. This one will definitely be a shorter story, but I had to tell it. It was a funny, quirky little time. So let's head to New York City. So this story starts in Pittsburgh. I'm just chilling, and at the time I'm DJing, I'm promoting shows, I'm doing a bunch of random stuff in Pittsburgh. I'm also doing a lot of stuff with the Most Dope guys, I'm doing a lot of stuff with the Taylor Gang guys, and just kind of doing business and just different things all together, kind of intertwining, if you will, on a bunch of different things, right? So I'm pretty close with a lot of the guys in the Pittsburgh music scene, specifically the hip hop scene. Now at the time, especially, I was working with my homie DJ Motor. So Motor is part of Taylor Gang, he's a DJ, he's one of my close friends, super cool dude, and we're doing a bunch of shows and a bunch of random stuff together. We DJ together all the time, and he is going to New York City the next weekend for the Khalifa release party that they're having at these clubs. I forget what the clubs are called, but they were in New York City, and we were gonna go and just go hang out with them and go to these release parties. I think they were really small venues. They did a giveaway or some kind of free something, and if you were one of the first 50 fans I think the places held like 150 people. They were really nice clubs. I'll talk about it in a little while. So it was more of an intimate thing, and it was exclusive, so you had to win your way in. So I wanted to go. He invited me. I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's make it happen. So now we're gonna backtrack just a little bit because we have to go back for this story a little. A week before this conversation, there was a festival in Pittsburgh. It was the winter time. I remember it being freezing cold, and it was called the Strip District Music Festival. There was a promotion company that threw it that I was familiar with, that I worked with all the time, and Taylor Gang was a big part of it. I think Chevy Woods was actually the headliner of the show. I was performing on it. Motor was on it. There was a bunch of artists from Pittsburgh. It was a cool little thing, and they had stages all around the Strip District in Pittsburgh. I've talked about the Strip District before in some of my other stories, so again, just to give you the layout, the Strip District's kind of more of like a little bit of an industrial area right on the river, but it's got restaurants and cool little markets and things all around it. And there used to be a venue called the Altar Bar. The Altar Bar is an old church that was rearranged and turned into a music venue, and the Altar Bar was super dope. It's not there anymore. The building's there, but it's like church again. But this building, it was just super dope to see shows there, super dope to perform there. So anyway, there's this venue right there. It's this church, right? It's sitting here on the corner, and right next door is a big parking lot and then a McDonald's. And in the parking lot, they put a big stage up, and that was like one of the main stages for the Strip District Music Festival. And then there was other places around that area in different little venues and little stages that people performed throughout the day. And then at night, everybody kind of converged there, and this was that time. We finished the set, I walk off stage. When I walk off stage by myself, right? I walk down the stairs and I come, and right behind the stage is an alley, and I was just going down there. I was, had adrenaline. I had gotten off stage first, and I was just kind of waiting for everybody else. When I did that, I got to the end, and angry promoter guy was waiting there, like kind of like Grease Lightning style, like back up with his foot up, up against the wall, kind of sketching in the alley, and just like standing there. And I walk out, and he's like, yo, man, like, what were you saying? Trying to fight me. And I'm looking at this guy like, dude, you're still angry about this? Come on, right? And at the time that I'm like saying this, my friends just start walking off the stage. Like, they start piling off the stage, and they all start walking up and kind of like looking, and this dude's whole demeanor he changed. He went from super confrontational to just like, he just played it off like he was just standing there, right? We go, that was that, right? I get my stuff in my car, I leave, I go home. That was that. Think nothing of it. Everything's cool. So a couple days later, I get this little email. It's like back and forth, like, hey, this, what happened with this, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't a big thing, whatever. Out of sight, out of mind. Move forward, doesn't matter. Fast forward about a week later from that, now I'm going to New York City to go to this trip. At the time, I definitely, and still, I didn't have like tons of money. So I hopped on a Greyhound. I went from Pittsburgh to New York City. I hopped on a Greyhound, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go meet everybody and just go have a good time, right? So I hop on, I get there, I pull into New York City, we go through the tunnel. I don't know if you've ever gone to New York City. If you have, put that in the comments. But New York City, there's a couple ways. You can go tunnel, bridge, but when you get in there, you know that you're in New York City. You're like, this is crazy. It's a huge city. You get in there, we got in. I ended up getting off of the bus, and the hotel ended up being like a block away. And I'm like looking at the address, and I'm walking, and I get to the street, and I'm looking around. I'm like, where is this hotel? It says it's right here, but I don't see a hotel. You can usually tell when something's a hotel. There was no inclination of a hotel. I didn't see a sign. I was just like, I don't know what's going on. So I'm texting them, and they're like, yeah, describing the place. This is where I am, but I just don't really know. So then I see someone come out of this door that I didn't really notice, and I look, and it's the place. It's the hotel. So I'm like, all right, that's kind of weird, like this is Taylor Gang's Wiz Khalifa. Like I thought that it would be like some crazy hotel. Oh man, was I wrong. Like I walked in, I'm like kind of judging off this door, and I walk in, wow, this place was beautiful. It was like this little boutique hotel, amazing, like super custom sculptures and just cool stuff. It looked like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like chic and just cool. So I get there, and I have to go, and they have to like call up to the room and get special like clearance and all this stuff. So I'm waiting there, they give them a call, whatever. They're like, yeah, no worries, send them up, blah, blah. So I get in the elevator, I go upstairs, and when I go upstairs, I come out, Motor's there waiting for me. I walk out, we go to the room, and I put my stuff, it's like a twin room or whatever. I put my stuff there. I'm like super grateful that I even have a place to sleep. Like I'm just like, this is cool. I'm happy to be here, whatever. So we are in the room. We leave the room. We go down the hallway. At the end of the hallway, Wiz has his like penthouse, and this room was crazy, crazy dope. It was just dope. It was a penthouse in a chic hotel, in a 5-star chic like boutique hotel in New York City. It was fire. It was just huge ceilings, huge stuff. It was just super dope. So anyway, we're there. Wiz is there. Dan Fogler's there. If you're not familiar with Dan Fogler, he owns, he's one of the owners of Gold, GLD, like the gold company that you see Wiz always promoting and helping out. He did photography, videography, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, he was there. Motor was there. This dude, Nick P, who does clothing from Pittsburgh, was there. A couple of other people. Will Zombach, one of my really close friends. He's Wiz's manager. He's the CEO of Taylor Gang. Super great guy. He's there. Everything's cool, and we're just chilling. Everything's perfectly fine. We're there for like maybe an hour or two, just hanging out. We're smoking, drinking. Everybody's just hanging out. There's nothing to do. We're just chilling. At this point, we're ready to go to the show. Now, Wiz is a big artist. He's a major, major artist. So they move way differently. Like they don't move like regular artists. They don't have just regular people come pick up. Like it's a whole, they have everything very strategically planned out, right? So they have 2 sprinters come, right? And we go and we get in these sprinters. And one sprinter, it's me, Motor, Wiz, Will, and I think maybe either Lonnie or Breeze or maybe Nate Ball. It was one of the security, maybe even both of them. I don't remember that part. But we are going, and then there's some other guys that are in another sprinter, right? And we're all going. And when we pull up to the place, like I said, it's a smaller club. And when we go up, they have it all roped off, right? And we're like pulling up. But again, it's me, Motor, Will, Wiz, and some other people, whatever. So we're going, and we stop the sprinter, and Will and the security get out first, right? So Will gets out first, and security, and I'm right there, and they're kind of like going past me, so I just get out too. And when I get out, and all 3 of us get out, all of a sudden, all these cameras go off. It's like if you see on like ETV or something. It was straight out of the TV movies, like all the crazy flashing lights. You're like, what? And they obviously thought that Wiz was coming out at that moment, and they're just flicking it up, right? So it's just like, it was just crazy because I'm not used to that at all. So I'm just like, man, this is wild, right? So we do that. All of a sudden, the other sprinter pulls up. Wiz hops out at our sprinter. Everybody kind of goes in as a group, right? We're going in, and I'm in the back and start kind of getting pushed back. And one of the security people kind of grabbed me and pushed me kind of back in with everybody. And we're going, and we're heading up to the table. Now, when we walk in this club, it's a narrow entrance, and we're going in, and we're like kind of squeezing through people, and we're going in, everybody's Wiz, everybody's going crazy, and we're walking to the section, but the section's at the far end of the club, right? So we're walking through everybody else's areas and stuff, and it's a tight squeeze, and they're trying to keep us all together, and we're going, and This place is really, really beautiful as well. It's really chic, just smaller place, but it was dope. Chandeliers with the crazy lights. There was like this crazy bookshelf thing on the wall, I remember. That was like part of the aesthetic. And then there was a couple bars here and there. DJ booth up here over to the right. Bonix was spinning. It was super dope, right? We're walking in. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome, right? We're going. We get up to the section and I look up and all of a sudden I see Michael Strahan and Cuban Gooding Jr. And this is right when all the OJ stuff was happening. Like when the big OJ show was coming out, like Cuban Gooding Jr. was like all in the tabloids and all in everything. He was like a star because of the OJ thing was happening right then, right? And that was all coming out and stuff. So it's Michael Strahan and Cuban Gooding Jr. I'm just like, what? This is crazy, right? So I'm just like walking in, whatnot. And then I get out to the section, the rope opens, everybody goes in, and I'm about to step into the section, and the rope closes. Oh man, the rope closes. The rope closes. The rope closes. I'm with Wiz and the rope closes. I'm the last one. Why did the rope close? I'm supposed to be behind the rope too. I look up, it's Will. He's holding the rope closed. I'm like, Will, we're friends. Why are you doing this? I just give him the look. I'm like, why? Why are you doing this? What? Will, I was just with you for hours. What did I do? I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken. And he just shook his head and he was like, so what happened at the Strip District Music Festival? I was like, what? What happened to the Strip District Music Festival? I was like, we killed it. He did not want to hear we killed it. He was like, no, what happened? And I was just like, oh man, I felt like a little kid. I felt like my dad was like reprimanding me. I was like, yo, this is, right now? I was just with you for hours. We rode here together. Why are you doing this right now? It was obviously to prove a point, but I was heartbroken. I was just like, man, this is terrible. So he's like, you know, when we do stuff and you're representing us and you're anything affiliated with what we do. So I totally respect it. It's one of my good friends, but it was just hilarious how he was doing this. And I was just, it was just so funny, but so like he was serious as well. And he's just like, when you're doing stuff with us, you need to make sure that we don't need to deal with any of this. And he wasn't even like mad at me. He just wanted to know what happened from my side because he had to hear about it for whatever reason. So he's just like messing with me, but we're in this old club and I'm like, you're messing with me right now? He definitely got my ass. I was just like, So he's like, yeah, next time. You're just like, yeah, next time, don't do that. And then open the thing. And I was like, I just put my head down and I was never so ashamed to walk into a booth and grab a bottle of champagne ever in my life. It was amazing. I just felt like such trash, but I was walking to say hello to Cuban Gooding Jr. and Michael Strahan. I didn't even care. It was amazing. And to this day, Will's one of my very good friends. He's an amazing, amazing dude. So it's just a funny little story. I don't even know if he remembers doing it. I don't even care. It doesn't matter. It's just awesome. We finished the night. Wiz did a bunch of the songs off the tape. A bunch of celebrities came. It was just a really cool vibe. We got back in the Sprinter. We went back to the hotel. We went back to Wiz's like little penthouse room and just four of us just sat at the dining room table in his penthouse and just sat there and smoked for another 2 hours until like 4 or 5 in the morning. And then I went to sleep, woke up, grabbed the megabus, headed back to Pittsburgh. I had a great time. It was amazing. I really appreciate you guys taking this adventure with me to New York City this time. I hope that you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, like the video, share the video, and make sure you join us next time on Adventures with Afterthought.